Wu Chang is the hot new Souls-like on the market, and I'm not talking about the game. Can I get a heh in the chat, gamers? Our story begins with Wu Chang waking up in a cave suffering from amnesia and with feathers growing out of her arm, and just like that, we are already 2/3 of the way into the Hagraven quest from Skyrim. Todd Howard, you did it again. Upon attempting to leave said cave, we are flashbanged into oblivion, and I swear to God, if the next thing I hear is, "Hey, you're finally awake," I'm going to lose it. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, we are gifted a sword by a mysterious, scantily clad woman. Funnily enough, I have this dream about 2 times a month, but all I ever wake up with is low blood sugar and disappointment. So like I said, Wu Chang is a Souls-like, and by that I mean you got your bonfire substitutes and your level currency that you drop if you die, but that's also kind of where the similarities mostly stop. The game's mechanics are deep and vast, and no, I am not on the right platform to make a joke about that. For example, you no longer level up individual stats with your blood, souls, runes currency. Instead, you turn a certain amount of them into what is essentially skill points, then you get some skills. A few are just basic things like +1 to strength or vitality, but others are much more useful, things like increasing your healing flask, or attacks doing more damage at certain thresholds, or the ability to deflect, more on that later. After that, you got your acupuncture upgrades, you got stones that you can glue to your weapons. It's a lot, but don't worry, there are about 14 trillion tutorial pop-ups to let you know what's what, and believe me, you are gonna need them because what the hell is going on? Why can't I shove a needle into my arm letting me light my weapon on fire? I do not understand. I am joking. I mean, no, I'm not. There are a lot of tutorial pop-ups, but that's not the point. The point is that the similarities with other Souls games kinda stops here. I mean, sure, you have your dodge that gives iframe, but you know what it also gives? Magic. No, I'm not kidding this time. Dodging is a way to replenish magic attacks. And not only that, but your weapon skills also use the same magic system, so by dodging, you can do more damage with your weapon. For you see, each weapon has upwards of 4 attacks. Light, heavy, then special light and heavy. That's not what they're called. Jane, can you please put on the screen what they're called? Thanks. You can still use these skills without any magic mojo, but you do less damage. Now, you might be wondering, how can you fit dodge, 4 attacks, heal, block, and magic on like 3 buttons? You can't. There is no block. Well, that's a half-lie. There is a block, but it's not a universal ability. That's right, Wu Chang doesn't hide behind shields, she laughs in the face of protection. On that note, there are 5 weapon classes. Longswords, which are your standard damage and range. Axes, those are the slow heavy hitters. Spears, which have great range and okay damage. Dual swords, which are very fast with low damage output per swing. And one-handed swords, which are the suck. Don't use them. Okay, I'm joking. The one-handed swords are the magic weapons. A lot of the skills in that tree focus around Skyborn Might and your magic and feathering attacks. To be honest though, I felt like outside of a pure mage build, if you will, one-handed swords are kinda useless. Because of the whole get magic on dodge thing, you can still use magic with other weapons. Don't get me wrong, if you are going pure mage then they're good, but their damage and range as a weapon is terrible, but maybe that's the point. The great news though is that all those skills, and by the way there are a lot of skills, work on every weapon of that type. So, if you spec into Longsword and spend skills on the Mastery, which is basically weapon level, then switch to a different Longsword, that new sword will have the same weapon level and skills. Then, if you decide you actually want to use dual swords instead, you can, at any point, for no cost, reset your skills and just respec. While I do think the overall build variety is lacking, this implementation means you are never restricting yourself to one kind of weapon. You can experiment and see what suits your taste, and indeed, some of the bosses are better fought with certain weapons, so make sure to try out as many skills as you can. Cough cough, the ability to deflect is fucking broken. No, wait, not just deflect. The ability to deflect and have the skill that causes deflecting to make enemies show their weak points is absolutely, undeniably, earth-shatteringly busted. And I love it. In fact, I found a dual sword that took it even further. Deflect caused me to be able to lifesteal. That's right, not only would I negate all incoming damage with a deflect, then open them up for more damage from me, and I healed off of it. The synergy is strong and the devs knew that. It even works on some bosses. I won't show them here for spoiler reasons, but I promise you some of the hardest fights I've had in this game while playing dodge heavy became some of the easiest after I got deflect. But that's enough about the combat. I would love to tell you a little about the story, but as mentioned, Wu Chang wakes up with amnesia. She doesn't even know the story. It gets told as the game progresses, but again, I do not want to spoil anything. No, I'm not avoiding the subject because I too don't know what's going on. Why do you ask? Right, let's abruptly change topics. The art design, environment, and enemy designs are all phenomenal. I mean, you do have some generic knight and bandit guys that kinda don't do it, but the vast majority of the enemies, especially the more corrupted feathered ones and the bosses, oh baby, they are gorgeous. I do not know about the cultural aspects of this game. I am not a master of history, but as someone who has as much brainpower as a low-watt toaster, I think the game is stunning in its presentation. It's also not exactly a short game. At the time of writing, I'm about 13 hours in, and I think I'm nearing the end of the second major area, but full disclosure, that 13 hours is a challenge run, wink wink. But I'm also not completely exploring every single path I find because I need this video to come out within the next 2 years. Yes, the game world is massive. So, do I recommend Wuchang Fallen Feathers? Yes, I do.